Okay, we're going to move on to slide 8 called Patent Trolls. What are patent trolls? Uh, these are companies that manufacture nothing of their own. They buy up patents from other companies and then search for companies infringing on those patents so they can either collect licensing fees or sue them to make a lot of money in damages. Imagine that. Imagine that they buy these patents solely for the purpose of suing people who are infringing on them. The average smartphone uses technology covered by 250,000 patents. These lawsuits are costly to defend. Vonage was sued by several companies, and it cost Vonage just under $200 million to settle, almost bankrupting it. Uh, okay, that's patents. Let's move on to trademarks. These are things that you see every day. You see hundreds of them every day. Trademark law protects consumers from misleading packaging and advertisements that could confuse them about the source of the products and services they buy. This is in your book. It's a quote from Packard. They reduce consumer search costs. You don't have to get online and say, "Gosh, I've got this sneaker and it looks like this and looks like this, and I can't tell. There's no label on it, no trademark. I don't know who made it." Um, it's kind of interesting. In grocery stores, you could end up buying the store brand and finding out that that store brand was made by a very well known company. So they do that. When they finish making the stuff under their brand, they'll continue to make stuff and sell it to stores who put their own brand on it, like Publix or Winn-Dixie. They provide incentives among manufacturers to produce high quality products and services that consumers will remember. This started in the Middle Ages. When you would go to a fair and you would see moccasins over here, moccasins over there, moccasins over there, or some kind of boot or whatever, and they didn't have anything on them. There's no mark until the manufacturers got smart. They said, "Okay, I'm going to burn something into this. It's going to have Tom Jones on it. That's me. I'm the one who made this boot. That's my logo." Oh, they didn't have the word logo back then, but then they started with trade unions, and that's how people knew. Oh, I don't want just any boot. I want the one that Tom Jones makes. Okay, Tom Jones, you know what it looks like, and there you go. That's how it all started. Now there are types of marks, trademarks. They identify goods already in or intended to be in commerce. It can be a name, a word, a slogan, a symbol, a picture, or a combination of any of the above. It's interesting here we have a picture of the Coca-Cola logo. It's known for the way the word Coca-Cola is written. Um, they have something here, Coca-Cola. You see the bottle in the background. That bottle is famous for its shape, and they have a patent or a trademark on the bottle itself, and that's called trade dress. Trade dress. It's something different. The color scheme is its own. Here's something called a service mark. It identifies businesses in the service industry. NBC's Peacock is a service trademark, but also NBC, that three-note chime is also trademarked. And if it's a registered trademark, it's an R inside a circle. And then you know it's registered. Stay away from it. They own it. Don't make anything that looks like it. And here we have some other marks, collective and certification marks. Collective is a mark that identifies a membership organization, such as a realtor. Now, when you write, uh, you have to be very careful. Realtor is very, very protective of its logo and its name. The name Realtor is a registered trademark. So if you call somebody a realtor, it has to be a capital R and it must have the R in a circle after it. You get away from that by calling them real estate agents. Okay, that's not protected in any way, shape, or form, but realtor is. And then we have a certification mark which certifies the origin, the material, the mode of manufacture, the quality, the accuracy, or other characteristics of the person's good or service. When you see Wi-Fi here, in on a window in front of a or door in front of a store, you know that they have Wi-Fi in there for you. So you can go to Panera, get your coffee, sit down, plug your phone in or your computer, and you have Wi-Fi. It's free for you. Now, how to acquire a trademark protection? A mark must be distinctive in one of three ways. It can be fanciful. This is invented specifically for the product or service. The easiest mark to protect because the name is not associated with anything else. Google wasn't a word until the company Google made it up and said, okay, we're going to put a TM by it, which stands for trademark. But this is not registered. It's saying to you, aha, we know the value of this name. We're putting a TM by it to make you go away and realize that we're in the process of registering it. All right, so that's fanciful. Then you have one that's called arbitrary. Has no relationship to the purpose or characteristics of the product or service it represents. Apple. Apple has nothing to do with computers. One's a fruit and the other is a computer, okay, or a phone or something else. But Apple has. Now, it was interesting when Apple started, they have a Macintosh. Well, the Macintosh is a kind of apple. They had something else too. They had some other names of apples, and then they just stopped doing that. All right, that's arbitrary. Then you have one that is suggestive. It hints at the product's function, but is still abstract enough to require some imagination. So YouTube, what does this look like? Okay, it looks like a TV screen. At least that's what TV screens used to look like. They were rounded in the corners and that sort of. So it's you on the tube. It's you in some kind of video format that people can watch. All right, it's suggestive of what it is. Now, how to acquire it? Marks that are merely descriptive do not meet the criterion of distinctiveness. The mark must develop a secondary meaning, a meaning beyond the description. This holds true especially for company marks based on surnames such as Dell Computers, Ford, or McDonald's. Those are real people's names, but they have to have a different meaning. When people begin to think of the company before the person, then it has developed a secondary meaning. So Mr. Steve Dell was known as Steve Dell until he came up with Dell Computers, and until enough years went by that people forgot who Steve Dell was. Dell meant computer. Ford, Ford created cars. Henry Ford, at the time at which we stopped thinking of Henry Ford and we thought of Ford as a type of car, then it was trademarkable. Now we get back into this, what I called the trademark dress with the Coca-Cola bottle. Aspects of a brand's total image and overall appearance, such as its packaging, color, size, and shape, may acquire trademark protection as trade dress. This is something that appears on Maker's Mark whiskey. Maker's Mark, by the way, my dad was in the liquor business, is just about the best. It's tops. It has a red wax seal on it. It's not really wax, it's plastic, but it looks like wax. It looks like when people used to melt wax and put something in it and then stamp it on a letter. So this is part of trademark dress. Where are we? 1032. We'll get into 18. Here's another example of trademark dress. Time magazine always looks like this. It has a black background, it has a white thin border around the picture, and then it has a red thick border around the outside. Aspect of a brand's total image and overall appearance, such as its packaging, color, size, and shape, may acquire trademark protection also as trade dress. So the front cover layout of Time magazine is its trade dress. You come to know that. You don't even have to see Time. Look, his head is covering up 2 letters of a 4-letter word, and you know that that says Time. Why? Because you recognize it. And here we go. How do we see trademarks? For unregistered or pending registration marks, you see a TM or an SM. A TM is for trademark, and SM is for service mark. Don't forget this, service mark. And they are temporary. For registered trademarks, it can take 15 to 18 months to get it, and you can then put an R in a circle next to it. Slide 20. Well, we'll end this right here and we'll finish up in a third one.